Janani, and also from Providence, Rhode Island. Let's give it up for Paul Tran and
That's my friend.
I know her.
Look at that cute ass blazer.
I have a confession. I have this insatiable addiction to coffee. Fair trade coffee. Fair trade coffee in NPR membership months. I want to wake up to that smell next to me. That and freshly pressed New Yorkers and moleskin covers and sweaty yoga mats. See, the truth is, I'm a snow queen. I just have this thing for white people. Can't help it. It's the way they eat steak for dinner. I'm vegetarian, but I would make exceptions. I've heard that white men have huge empires. I've heard that they're really good at gentrification. A white woman asked me where I was from. No, where I was really from. Then she told me she was going to India with her nonprofit that year. And I said, oh, tell me more. You say you like beer, honey? The first white boy I ever slept with told me he was so excited when I said that he was sexy. Like I was the first person to say that, like, ever in the entire world. I don't understand that I like it that way. Like your veins are showing. Like your skin could bleach out your clothes. Like your SPF level is 9,000. It just turns me on. Like I would love to cuddle in the ugliest sweaters and listen to David Sedaris with you. One apartment in the Mission and the other in Brooklyn and stare at the same chase-shaped constellations together at nighttime. I want you to pick me up on your way home from your unpaid internship. Or jam in your Prius to hip-hop. I want you to tell me about your gap year. I want to map the lines on your palms to the lines you drew in Africa. I want to get my name tattooed on your arms in Sanskrit and then in Chinese. I want us to make black friends together. Brunch with them. I want to get gay married in San Francisco and pick up our tribal print tuxedos from American Apparel. I want to vote for Obama with you. And name our ethnically adopted cats Hope and post-race. Wedding night, you will tell me about all the women of color artists that make you feel like a diva, such as Beyonce. And you will awkwardly gyrate me without your hips. And we will go couch surfing for our honeymoon. You will pull me aside and take new photos of me like that time you randomly selected me from the airport security guard. Damn! You will whisper tenderly in my ear, don't worry, I'm not racist like them. Then fuck me like you are. Thank you, everyone. I want to invite my friend Paul Tran up here, who's also a featured artist fellow. Over the past, like, 12 hours, we wrote a fucking group piece. It is on paper, or rather on iPhone, because kids these days. So we have a lot of moms, both of us, and this is a piece about our moms that are stitched together. My mother's heels start cracking 22 years ago.
My mother's mind started cracking 22 years ago.
After I claw my body from hers,
After she clawed her body out of the gutter,
and the weight of childbirth
the weight of leaving Vietnam
began to
to
split
split
second and third wombs at the back of her feet.
her tidy bedspread mind.
My mother's heels are split like torn fingernails. Every night she rubs the cracks down in coconut oil.
She tries to smooth the wrinkles in her head. Time rewinds when I am little.
My mother cuts my fingernails with sewing scissors
She
down
took
into the quick.
She took on 3 jobs to feed our family.
My mother cannot sew.
My mother is a seamstress.
I ask her each time why she insists on cutting my fingernails until they bleed at the edges like she remembers being scratched.
Ooh.
Like how farmers will clip a beak. Like how dogs will claw the cat.
She worked from no sun in the morning till no sun at night, hemming pants, hewing dresses with the precision of needle and knife.
I remember cutting my nails the way other little girls remember waxing. All the red and the sting and the baby finish. My mother says sorry with coconut oil dripping from her fingertips to mine. My grandmother says that fingernails dropped on the floor are an
Invitation to death in your house. When death walked into our house, when my father swallowed a Heineken bottle, pressed a mouthful of glass into my mother's face, a ghost took his place, and her mind unraveled.
When I am 6, and my nails are slowing down my basement games of solitaire, I tear one off and let it clank to the floor like the binding of a
A
ghost.
seamstress unable to repair herself.
My edges bleed into the arrow keys. I say sorry to myself in coconut oil when I come upstairs for air. When my grandfather dies, when I am 6, I feel the guilty
gnawing in my stomach.
like the fingernails tangled somewhere in our Missouri basement carpet.
I gather her shattered face in my palms, lay what's left in bath water, a violent ocean, her retinas flooded, schools of mackerel and sharks spill from her throat, the chorus of decay
My mother's heels gather dust and nails as she
bleeds around our house.
When she bleeds, she is not allowed to touch my grandfather's altar.
She forgets how to thread the needle.
Blood makes my mother unholy.
She forgets the bloodied prick.
I stop bleeding when I needle and drug away my womanhood, which means that I am always holy,
She tears out the stitch
but never home long enough to find my grandfather's altar.
to suture her severed limbs, and 3,000 miles away
In my sunny apartment,
at school,
I
let boys and fingernails in and across the wooden floor, and wonder if one of them will come up to death and kill the little child who still laughs inside.
At my mother's home,
Her bathwater sleep.
I keep my eyes closed so I will not catch her wounded heels.
I watch her rise from the dark,
So I will not see ghostly little girls swishing in
cracked and full of sky,
and spilling from her feet.
pressing the sharp of a pin into her fractured mind.
My mother has wounds in her feet that will not close. I wish that my mother could sew.
My mother survives herself by stitching the fear away, each loop, each killing, the alchemy of making the split disappear.
Okay. Hi, honey. Welcome to number 1 Beauty Nail Salon. Please be number 1, okay? How can I help you today? You want manicure? Pedicure too? That's okay. I cure everything. Only $10 more. You go sit over there. My name is Gia, and I do very good for you. Make me number 1, okay? The perfect manicure begins like a careful plan. Wash your hands. Scrape off the dirt. Remove the native coats with acetone. And continue washing. Honey, you like French tip for your nail? French tip make it look white, so sexy. All my customer like the white nail. For French tips, Clip the keratin armor until your nails are slick. Keep each operation uniform. Rank file the top side. Push back the cuticles with oil and lotion. The chemical arsenal of a Vietnamese manicurist whose name Dien means war. She survived one and is now in another. Now she's bent over, scrubbing your fingers. The chemical foliage, the cuticles stir in her the memories of slaughtered soldiers. Children washed away, women buried alive. Honey, what color you like? I got the red, blue with the sparkle. I think the red look very sexy on you. Add a base. Then the color of bloodshed. Make sure the brush gets deep down in the nail groove. The hard-to-reach trenches. Maximum coverage makes the killing easy. The operation for beauty, a breeze. To prevent the slightest chipping, add a layer of toluene. Ignore all your casualties. The children born without teeth, bodies mangled by dogs, the bombs, stillbirth. Clean up any mistakes you make with a manicure pen. A pen is all you need to be number one, to make an ugly truth look beautiful. A truth that's only beautiful to those that drive insane, whose careful planning it complicates. It's no coincidence that Vietnamese refugees operate the nail salons in this country. It's called racial capitalism. The beauty industry in America has been taken over by Spacco nail polish mafia offering you cosmetic surgery for cheap, because for Americans, life in the Orient has always been cheap, but we remember. We remember the white men who raided our villages in the name of freedom, who dragged us here like dogs. So when the day comes, and this empire collapses onto its knees, spooling in a pool of its own blood, we will be ready to make you all beautiful. Honey, don't worry. I make you drop dead, gorgeous.